Hey, Jamdonians, Wagwan, one up to. This is Chooks, and we're looking at another pic and seeing what it triggers for us as we go down memory lane. I'm looking at a television set. It's a color television set, but we all know so we go back further than that, right? Further than that. Me grew up primarily in the 80s, so there was a time as a little pitney, there was a time when there was no TV. Yeah, for a short time I can remember there was no TV, and then now we get to a stage where we have a black and white TV, and then years later we step up in our life and we get a color television set. Right? So for the short time when we can remember no TV, most people in the community never have no TV. So one and two of them will have, and you might have pass and you're looking, you see the TV. But my grandmother never raised with their people yard. As a matter of fact, when we get our black and white TV, our yard become a kind of central point, and the other people them now come out our yard, come watch TV, but we never allowed to go all over the place, in a people yard or do anything. So there was a time when in a night you have pitney from over Salt Lane, pitney from down the road, still in the house. I watch movie, I watch all kind of something. On Saturday then come them watch cartoons. And my grandmother was a kind-hearted woman, and she loved pitney. So she always taking people pitney, help them out. So she never have no problem with the pitney them are coming, although some of them, just done ramp, then dirty, then frozy, then coming. So sometimes she tell them, you have to sit down on the floor. Cause they never in the right condition, to be honest. When you're pitney and you, especially the boys up and down and they sweat and they frozy. But we as pitney never mind them something there, we never mind them something there. So I brethren them, and when you just done ramp and whatever, time for watch cartoons, and everybody in there watch cartoon. Nobody no business who sweaty and frozy. So now the black and white TV. So them bars they were sit on the TV, them colored bars there on the black and white TV. The bars still there, but say it gonna be now different shades of gray and white, right? And when we just had the black and white TV there at that time, the programming never run right through the day. And as a matter of fact, there was no programming after 12. I think TV sign off. I think the station sign off at about 12 at about midnight. And then it never sign on back till about 3 o'clock the next afternoon, if my memory serves me right, because we had only one television station for many years, many donkey years. JBC, Jamaica Broadcasting Corporation. That was the one and only. You had no other option. You know this. You know the saying, what else is on? No, we never have the saying there. There was nothing else on. If you don't want to watch with up on JBC TV, you gotta find something else to. Nothing else not there for watch. You can't switch up and there was no other channel. Long after you started having other channels coming, and so you have like an option to switch to this and switch to that. But for most of my childhood, a one TV station at JBC. If you don't like what them give you can't turn them. You can't turn them. Go get one book, go read. So when them sign on, usually 3 p.m. that time they enough little picnic come home and so them put on cartoons. If my memory serves me right, about 3-4 o'clock you have the cartoons, and then you have some other little show for kids. Remember Enter the Dojo, Lime Tree Lane, Sesame Street, all of them children's programming. And then of course you gotta have now in the prime time hours you gotta have your JIS, Jamaica Information Service programming. You gotta have the news, sports, weather forecast, the usual suspects. News, weather and sports and commentaries and that kind of thing, and the talk shows. And then you'd have different days for different kind of programming. So the sitcoms all had their days when they come. The talk shows, the series, the soap operas, all of them are for them days. So you'd look forward to certain days of the week when your special show will come. Right, you'd look forward to that. I remember, because me did love watch TV. But the kind of child that I was, me did gravitate more towards the documentary them and the kind of things where big people that watch, right? Because I was a very mature child and very introverted. Yes, me did watch a little cartoon them and somebody loved them there too, but not as much as me would have sit down and watch documentary and everybody else gone out to do. As in see documentary come on, then gone out to do can play, and me alone sit down in there watch the BBC documentary them, right? And I remember I had this notebook, this good size notebook, when I write down the name of almost every single TV show I could remember. That little book, every TV show, whether comedy, sitcom, soap opera, every kind of show, movie, matinee when we watch. And that book there, we did end up burn that book there, because when I was about 18-19 I had a thing called Burning Day, and I went through this period where I felt like I had to get rid of certain things in my past and embrace a new me. I did change my name and go through all kind of something. So I did end up burn that book there and some of my diaries and so on. But yeah, man, I did have this big book with every show. I did also have a book with the whole heap of song them, because me still live by the radio. Me live beside the radio. And so me did memorize the song them, especially the 70s song them. Memorize them word for word. I'm gonna write them out in the book. Right, so I was so impacted by the music and by television, and being a child who loved to write, as I'm a writer now. So me definitely record the names of all of those, the songs and the shows. You did have people what I call TV tetes, we're addicted to TV, then just want to watch TV day and night, right? I wasn't like that. I never had TV tetes. Muda more in the book then, but I did enjoy watching TV, and the shows were dear to my heart, and that's why I think I started keeping that book for record the names, and anytime I feel a certain way, I go for the book and just look back on the names of the shows and remember what each one was about and what I like about the show, and other than the TV, the only time would I really have none else for watch is like if you're there at school and then decide to show you a film show. We used to call it film show. So them would have come with them projector and put up the big wide screen, and then would have show you some feature film. Or you'd have once in a blue moon, they would have Carib Theatre, go watch a matinee or something. And then the boy them, you used to hear them so then go watch blue movie, X-rated movie. There was this theater, kind of like a underground theater for the boy them, where them could have go watch blue movie. Of course, so we could have never even thinking of we head, so we are going at the place, right? We don't know when in blue movie, we just hear people talk about blue movie. But we did have sense, so we did kind of sum up what it was all about, right? Now the thing with the TV, the programming in a them days there, and by them days, I mean 80s coming up, right? Because most of my childhood was in the 80s. What you'd find is that the show them lag behind where we get done happen already in a cause mainly US shows we got, and shows from the BBC, right? So by the time we get it, are like 1 or 2 seasons behind. So what you find is that people come down now from America or England or wherever, and they might tell us, say, but alright, the show reach? Lord God, that the man they did long time, or that the woman do this already, or this one they do that already. And you da feel so shake up. And you say, what? So you mean to tell me, say, all of that my head and I don't watch all of that. I must say, yeah, I wanna there. That the show, sometimes the show all done, the season done, the show, everything done, and we just see certain things. So that did make you feel a way, when people used to come from foreign and I tell you how the show go, and I tell you things will happen from them know where everything are going to happen already. You they kind of feel vexed, because you know one know say them have the advantage there over you. You know what I mean? Right, so I never like that. Because it's come like you feel like, oh, so are the old episode them a show we, so we not deserve the new episode them. So I don't know why that had to be. So for example, them would have show you some reruns from all the 70s. At the time, you don't really realize. You just see show up on TV and you watch show. But when you get older now, you could have put it in a perspective. Yeah, so well, maybe some kind of politics would have to deal with it, Why we did have to get the what left, the dregs. But anyway, we enjoy ourselves and we did love watch the show them. Some of the show them were really stand out for me. In my childhood, I did love Allo. I did love it bad. Jeffersons, Sanford and Son, Three's Company, Dynasty, Falcon Crest, Knots Landing, Dallas, and you know the cartoon them, Tom and Jerry and Super Friends and Flintstones and Jetsons, and of course Sesame Street. You know, that was a staple. That was a every day, every weekday. You know, say I got watch Sesame Street. And then of course you had the local programming, the GIS programming, profile. We used to love see Ian Boyne interviewing all of these persons who had achieved greatness, and I'm almost sure every Jamaican adolescent and even some adults would have tell themselves, one day Ian Boyne I go interview me on profile. You know, you don't tell yourself that, because that was like for us the epitome of having arrived. You know, say Ian Boyne I go find you and interview you once you turn smarty. You know, once you reach somewhere in your life, you go come on profile. So you tell yourself, say, one day I go sit down this and Ian Boyne and interview me. Well, he interviewed my daughter, so I guess that was close enough. And then, you know, Ian Boyne passed away, but I got to know him. I got to speak with him, and as me say, my daughter was interviewed by him, so that me feel good. Somebody almost step on him program, and maybe if he had, you know, stuck around a little longer, he probably could have did interview me. That would have been awesome. I also liked Hill and Gully Ride, where, you know, they went into the nooks and cranny of Jamaica and interview some country people, you know, there's some real Jamaican people. I did love that show there. And Lime Tree Lane, of course, you know, was a little show, kind of like a skit, but it showcased Jamaicans talking the Jamaican lingua, which me love. And yeah, all of them look a program there. So looking back, me can say the television station, the one we had at the time, and then the others that came later, we really did try to have a balance with the local programming and the imported stuff, because when you look on it, you know, American culture especially influence Caribbean culture to such a great extent, and television is one of the main ways. Well, now we have internet, but back then the television was one of the main ways that the cultural exchange and the cultural infiltration take place, and it influences how we eat, how we dress, how we talk, what we aspire to. So it was very important that with all of this inundation of American culture, we still did try and maintain our culture and represent our people still on the air. That was very good. But I have to look back really and try figure out if there was this disparity in terms of the number of imported shows and programs and the number of local programs. Me can't really give you a figure. I can't really assess that right now in my head to say, was it still mainly? I don't know. I remember. What think? In the 80s, 90s coming up, would you say the programming was balanced? When we did just have the one dege station, and then when the other one them come, did we have, would you say, the same amount of local programming as foreign programming? Would I have to sit down and try remember? and come to some kind of conclusion about that. Yes, so that was the TV life. Back in them day, what we aspired to have was a satellite dish, because that was a thing. Because say people who have the satellite dish, them would tell you about things where them have access, where them can watch and different program, and you can switch from that the channel to that the channel. You say, what? Switch? You can switch, like if sitting a player, like that, you can switch to something that was news to us. Because we never have that option there for a mighty long time. And then when Gilbert come now and blow down all our satellite dish them, the people them will live on the hill get a blow. Nowadays, just about everybody have access to so many. With cable and internet, you have access to dozens or hundreds of channels, and we have to assess and say, is this good or bad? Because sometimes when you have too many options, it work out for you. So tell me anything, go and remember about the TV, want to remember most about the TV. Which show was your favorite show when you're a little bit and you watch TV? Which show you did like? Which show you never like? Which character did stand out for you? Alright, so leave some comments and make we talk about it, and we will link up in our next video then.